This week we're here to talk about the film Demolition Man from 1993, starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. This is one of those movies, Russ. It's kind of dumb, but it's also kind of smart.
Honestly, yeah. You know, this is my first time watching it. I hadn't seen it before. This is a classic. It's been on my radar forever because, you know, Stallone's the man. And I typically have liked his movies, but I got this confused with Judge Dredd, which I've seen parts of and did not like. And so I kind of avoided Demolition Man because I thought it was Judge Dredd.
Is it because of the great comedy duo of Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider?
It is actually because of the comedy duo of Rob Schneider and Stallone. Anyway, we're not talking about that movie today.
You know, he's actually kind of tolerable in this one. In Judge Dredd,
Right.
He's very annoying because he's like the little sidekick guy.
Right. In this one, he's a side character. He's here and there. That's fine. He can say a line, but I don't really want to spend that much time with Rob Schneider.
Demolition Man accurately predicted self-driving cars, vertical video, smoking bans, Neuralink chips, and the cultural dominance of Taco Bell.
Yes. Is that why you think it's a smart movie? Because it did predict the future almost accurately.
The premise is great, and there's like satire in it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it kind of devolves into just like a popcorny action movie.
Right.
But there's a little bit of a intelligent thought behind it.
There's something. All right. So the self-driving cars. It takes place in the year 2036 or something, right?
I think 2032.
2032.
Yeah.
Great. Not so far off from right now. And I think by 2032. We're going to have self-driving cars, Gary. We already have that shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. The self-driving cars are spot on. They even kind of look like Teslas, except no one's carving a swastika into any of them. They're GM cars. That's more product placement in this movie. And it's funny because the Taco Bell product placement almost feels like a joke.
Yeah.
It kind of works, but it isn't a joke. It is actual product placement for Taco Bell.
Right.
Except for in the UK where I think they had to make it Pizza Hut because they don't have Taco Bell.
Yes.
And my reward is dinner and dancing at Pizza Hut. I like a big fat piece of pizza, but come on.
I'm going to recommend Demolition Man. I'll give this one 3 out of 5 stars. It's a great premise, but as a vehicle for Sylvester Stallone, it's not the best. All of the casting in the movie is pretty good except for Stallone and Snipes and Dennis Leary. Everyone else is great.
You think they just feel thrown into the mix just because they're stars or what? I don't know. I feel like...
Stallone is awful in this. It's funny because he's been good in movies.
Okay.
He's not always bad.
Sure.
But he's just like... I don't know, he's terrible in this.
You think
And
he's
Wesley
phoning
Snipes
it in?
isn't good either.
You think it's because it's so tongue-in-cheek that...
They're trying to play him as like this fish out of water action star, and it's probably just a bad script. But he does feel very phoned in, didn't you think so?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the movie's kind of corny, and I think that's why it worked. If it really tried to be badass, I feel like Judge Dredd sort of did. I don't know. Actually, didn't even see all
I think if the focus of this movie shifted from being a fish out of water story about Stallone to being about the actual premise, it probably could have been a much stronger film.
Instead of like, this guy from the past doesn't know how to use the seashells. The continuous joke throughout the whole damn
seashells.
movie. How would you use the seashells, Gary?
I put a lot of thought into this because I first saw this film in 1995.
Okay.
And I think what happened is because of the franchise war and Taco Bell taking over all the restaurants, all shitting in the future is liquid.
Oh.
Because everyone's just eating Taco Bell.
Right, yeah, sure.
So you just have a nasty diarrhea spray fart, and then you scrape your asshole out with the seashell.
Oh, you scrape your asshole out with the seashell.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's like the tides, round tides coming and going.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You just...
Yeah, if you put your ear up to the seashell, you could hear Sylvester Stallone shitting.
Gross. But kind of magical, actually. I got a funny story similar to that, Gary, and it's kind of as an offshoot. So back in high school, Gary and I went to high school together. He wasn't here for this story, but I had an early,
Well, you went to the high school, Russ, and I just hung out outside of it.
Oh.
But we were in similar proximity.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense now. No, behind the dumpster. Right. I got a break, right? One of my... before the end of school, I got a break, and then I would have to come back for theater that night. I go to Taco Bell with my friends, and we come back, and I have this joke that I used to do. It's probably bad to have this out on the internet, but it was called B-52. I don't know if you ever saw it, Gary, but what I would do is I'd go into a stall, you hold onto the top, you throw your legs above the stall, and you shit from above the stall, and it, from like feet, and splash in the toilet. Hilarious, right? I did it a number of times, and usually you gather a couple of people, and you're like, hey, everybody watch this? And you fart, poop from above.
Russ is shitting from the top of the stall again, guys.
Everybody get over here. So I come back. I'm like, oh, guys, check this out. And, I had just eaten Taco Bell. And so as I throw my legs up, I just lose it. And I just splatter the whole back wall and toilet and floor with my Taco Bell diarrhea. And
fire sauce.
Yeah. Horrible. Everybody didn't stick around. Usually people and laugh. Everybody just, whoa, fuck!
Yeah.
Ran out of there.
So you just left that mess for the poor immigrant who works at Taco Bell to clean up?
No. I cleaned it up with my socks, Gary, and my underwear, and I went sockless and underwearless that evening at play practice.
Good for you. At least you cleaned up after yourself.
I took a shell, and I scraped the rest off my asshole, and there you go.
So, do you recommend this movie, Russ? Do you want to give it a rating out of 5?
Yeah, actually, I give it a 4. The movie was cool. I liked Demolition Man. I thought it had way more action than I expected, way less Rob Schneider than I expected, and
they sparingly use Rob Schneider.
Yeah, and it was I feel like a lot of the predictions, like you're saying, was kind of clever.
Demolition Man is Demolition Man is not streaming anywhere.
Oh yeah, right.
For free at least. You get rented on Amazon, and there is a Blu-ray, and there's also a 4K Blu-ray available from Arrow.
Oh, that's cool. I like Arrow. They usually make pretty good things and have good features on their DVDs even,
Yeah, so you can get it. It's just not streaming anywhere for free. What's so strong about this movie is the actual premise, which doesn't necessarily lead to a great ending or very poignant ending, but there is some kind of intelligence to it. Demolition Man opens in 1996. LA is a dystopia. The Hollywood sign is on fire. The city is a complete war zone. Basically, the whole area looks like the Pacific Palisades.
Yes. So again, future. They knew that.
Sylvester Stallone plays John Spartan, a Los Angeles police detective who's in pursuit of Simon Phoenix, a crime lord who has kidnapped an entire city bus full of people. The bad guy, Simon Phoenix, is played by Wesley Snipes, and it's an unfortunate name because every time Sylvester Stallone screams Phoenix in this movie, it sounds like he's screaming penis.
That sounds fortunate, actually. I wish I had heard that.
Oh, you didn't notice that?
Let's roll a clip.
Spartan has been nicknamed the Demolition Man for the large amount of collateral damage he is known for causing. And this opening scenario is no exception. John Spartan apprehends the bad guy, Simon Phoenix, and in doing so destroys an entire building and seemingly causes the deaths of the hostages. Therefore, both men are ordered to serve terms in California's cryo penitentiary.
Right. Which we obviously have and still use, and we'll be using until 2032.
Yeah. Well, the scene of Stallone getting frozen is hilarious. And man, you see a lot of his junk.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised
I didn't really realize it.
It's like a good close-up on his balls. We're talking
way too
like
much
Fortress.
balls and ass. Anyways.
I mean, if you're getting frozen, Gary, you might as well spread
eagle.
They
don't even freeze you in a very comfortable posture. He's all bent over and fucking scared.
Choking on the gel or whatever. Actually, I read that Stallone hated shooting that scene. They filled a gallon thing or a bunch of goo into it.
He's like, stop looking at my penis! Cut to the year 2032, and the crime-ridden Los Angeles is now a seemingly peaceful utopia with no crime or violence. And when Simon Phoenix goes up for parole, he's able to easily take advantage of the future citizens who were not accustomed to violent criminals. Simon Phoenix breaks out of cryo prison, and because the future is so safe and politically correct, no one, not even the police, are prepared to deal with him. So they decide the best way to handle Simon Phoenix is to bring back the only man who has ever caught him, who is John Spartan.
Okay.
And this is a great premise. The big flaw in this concept is this should take place at least 100 or 200 years in the future. It doesn't make sense that this earthquake and this huge social change happened in such a short time span.
It was pretty quick. Yeah.
People from 1996 would still be alive.
Yeah.
People that were on the police force in 1996 are still actually on the police force.
Are still, yeah.
So they don't know how to punch somebody. It doesn't.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, that guy's got how to punch people.
It's a huge plot hole in an otherwise kind of solid concept.
Yeah, sure.
And I think the reason is because initially when they were writing this, they were going to do a thing where Stallone finds his daughter, so they had to keep it not too far in the future.
Sure.
But then they end up getting rid of that aspect of the movie anyways.
Right.
This is what's funny about Hollywood movies because they're just too many cooks.
Yes, exactly.
You end up ending with something that's just like shambled together. It doesn't really make sense.
I had heard that audiences did not like the daughter angle. They cut that because by the end, he ends up like getting with someone who's like the age of his granddaughter or something like that. And they were like, that's weird. He's so old. It doesn't matter. But he went through the future. Okay. Either way. Yeah. So I can dig it. And yeah, that's probably why this movie went into bigger budgets, because they had to refilm things, including that big opening scene. It originally started out differently, but then it was just like in the future, but they wanted to start in 1993 or whatever.
That makes sense.
And they blew up this building.
Also, this movie came out in 93 and the opening's 1996.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's funny because I guess in 92 we had the LA riots.
Right.
And then in 93 this movie was made, and the thinking was like, oh yeah, 3 years from now,
the riots will continue.
California's going to be crazy. It's going to be
on fire.
No man's land.
Yeah. While we're talking about the beginning real quick, I just want to point out the couple of stunts they do. It's not Stallone, but Stallone's character bungee jumps out of a helicopter.
Does he even bungee jump? It's like he just jumps out of a helicopter
with a rope on him, and then just like stops.
And then he hits the ground shooting. It's so over the top and cartoony.
It's wild.
And like the John Spartan character is very cartoony, and then the villain is like the Joker.
Oh right,
like,
yeah, he's doing cocaine like he pours gasoline on the ground. Okay. And there's like C4.
And there's C4 in like canisters.
And there's canisters. C4 doesn't explode. It doesn't matter. But also, Snipes holds like a torch, like inches away from the top of this poured gas. Wouldn't
the fumes,
that?
It would take it off.
Yeah, the fumes would do it, not just throwing a cigarette. In fact, I think Mythbusters proved that you throw a cigarette, that actually doesn't do it. It's the fumes. Anyway, the building explosion's great. They really blew up a huge building. It's it's the Belknap Hardware and Manufacturing Company in Louisville, Kentucky. And MTV
did a contest.
They did a contest where you could be the guy to blow it up. That's pretty rad. I wonder who won that.
That's a great promotion. MTV used to do wacky shit like that back in the day. Tom Green would go to your house and have sex with your mother. That was a MTV promotion in 1997. Yeah.
I won that one.
Stallone's character is displeased to learn that any type of behavior deemed immoral or unhealthy has been declared illegal in 2032. This includes smoking, eating meat, sex, even swearing is a ticketable offense, which leads to probably the best running joke throughout the film, where like there's just a little machine shooting out tickets every time Stallone swears.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
It is pretty.
That's
funny.
Great. I feel like
it's funny because they keep it going the whole time. So it's even towards the end, he's like, "Fuck!" It's just a fucking ticket in the background. Yeah. The architect of this future civilization is a wealthy technocrat named Dr. Raymond Cocteau. And Raymond Cocteau is responsible for releasing Simon Phoenix so he can use him to kill his opposition, an underground resistance leader named Edgar Friendly, who's played by Dennis Leary. Mm-hmm. And man, he basically just does Dennis Leary's stand-up act from the 90s.
I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon. And
there were a couple of years, I want to say it's between like 1991 and 1994, where Hollywood was just trying to fucking put Dennis Leary in everything.
Yeah.
And it never worked. And I think it finally ended in 1994 when they did the movie The Ref, and that was a huge bomb.
Oh, I didn't even see that shit.
I saw it as a kid.
Oh,
I saw it as a 6-year-old. Yeah, my parents took me to go see The Ref, which is an R-rated Dennis Leary film, because they were very responsible adults.
Right. Well, at least they took you to see a movie, Gary.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then did Dennis in that movie is just the same? It's his asshole spiel again?
When I was 6 years old, I thought Dennis Leary was hilarious.
That's funny. That's funny shit, yeah.
The whole thing with Dennis Leary is really weird because basically, you know, he did that stand-up special, No Cure for Cancer.
Okay. Was that recent? Or you mean that was like a first one or what?
That was the first one. It might have been 1991 or 92. It's basically Dennis Leary rips off this great comedian Bill Hicks, who had died just a couple years previous. And he basically takes Bill Hicks's act, becomes a huge star. He did that first special where he basically steals Bill Hicks's thing. When you really realize that Dennis Leary is not a good comedian is when he does his second stand-up special, and it's fucking atrocious because he doesn't have Bill Hicks to steal material from anymore.
Sure.
So, you know, Dennis Leary is a fine enough actor.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think he kind of burned out his TV career pretty quick, and then he was successful on TV.
Yeah, he came back on that fireman show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Rescue
stuck around
Man.
for quite a few seasons, actually. Rescue, yeah.
If you happen to pop in a movie from the early 90s, be careful, because you might have Dennis Leary just playing himself in it. Just so fucking lazy.
Smoking a cigarette and talking about being American.
And by playing himself, I mean he's playing Bill Hicks. That's, I guess, kind of the big problem in this movie is, they release Stallone from cryo and this other guy from cryo, but they can't actually put them back.
They can't.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the technology anymore?
No, it's not the technology. They don't have the human resources to arrest anyone.
Oh, yeah. They couldn't grab
So it's
you
like-
and put you in a cryo tube.
So Stallone could just do whatever he wants.
You're right.
Just blow loads in his daughter or whatever type of weird shit.
Whatever weird future stuff you want to do.
Yeah. I guess they had to scrap the whole daughter angle so they could have that great VR sex scene with Sandra Bullock.
That was great. What?
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that, Gary. Did you
Most
not
disappointing sex scene ever.
Yeah, she comes in and she teases. She's like, "Oh, let's have sex." And you're like, "Oh, they're gonna do it." He's weirded out by it because she is pretty, weird and formal about it. And then she comes out and they put on these little crowns or whatever. I feel like we should have little crowns. We should do like a little skit where we both have crowns and it's just us coming.
I'm not going to have gay future sex with you, Russ.
Here's the thing, Gary. If you don't actually have the sex, is it gay?
Yes. Also, here's the thing. Like, they put on the helmets and they're getting into it, and it's like he stops it before it's finished. Will this make him come? Is he just going to cum his pants or his kimono that he's wearing because he went to fancy Taco Bell?
Right.
So would he just cum himself with the helmet on?
Well, she gives him a towel, right?
She does give him a towel.
So maybe. I was thinking that, and that's why he stops before he wets his pants or whatever.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger, he's the president in this movie. We don't see him, but he's mentioned. That's funny.
And I guess it's also partly because Schwarzenegger and Stallone had that kind of friendly rivalry
through
the 90s.
years.
Yeah. That must have been mad confusing to Stallone. He's like, this guy doesn't even speak English. How is this my main competition?
Yeah, right.
Both of these guys can barely talk.
Just mush mouths.
Yeah, they're just awful.
They have big muscles, Gary. That's all you needed.
Yeah, they did have big muscles. Which that whole thing has kind of died. You could almost see that dying in the 90s where it went from being every it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger to being more like Keanu Reeves and more realistic.
Yeah, I think
more everyman heroes.
Right. Yeah,
the muscle bound thing kind of died.
Yeah, probably with freaking Die Hard might have done it.
Bruce Willis was much more of an everyman.
I mean, he's still fit. Granted,
but he's not jacked like Stallone or Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that was their thing, and you definitely saw less of that. And then nowadays, what do you think? We got The Rock. We have
you do have The Rock. That's true.
But they're not as shredded as they used
not
to
as
have.
bankable to be like that bodybuilder type anymore. I guess Even The Rock, it's kind of an anomaly. You expect The Rock to be more of a character actor than to be a leading man, but he's pulled it off. And The Rock also made a real, 10 or 15 years ago, he went from being pro wrestling jacked to being steroid bodybuilder jacked.
Yeah.
It was when he did that Pain and Gain movie.
Right. And he just got so shredded and so bulked at the same time. It was outrageous.
Now he's on so much anabolic steroids. If he stops taking them, he'll die. So he has to just keep doubling down on it.
Stop.
Yeah. It's like his heart will stop if he doesn't get those fucking steroids. It's like crank.
He's got to pump it straight into his chest every morning. The one thing I do want to mention, a little fun tidbit, Gary, that you might appreciate, might give you a little chubby just thinking about it. The voice of the computer, the automated computer systems in this movie, voiced by Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Big titty Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah, she was also, she starred in Swamp Thing. And I also didn't know this until looking up this fact on this movie. She was the voice of the computer in John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, it's his wife at the time, I guess.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've kind of exaggerated Adrienne Barbeau's chest. It's not really that big.
When you're a 5-year-old watching Swamp Thing.
Pre-breast implants, those were big boobs.
Sure.
But the 80s, everyone got crazy with the fake boobs.
Sure.
The ending of this movie, though, stuck with me from the time I was a child because that head crushing is fucking great.
Remind me. I mean,
the way John Spartan defeats Simon Phoenix is like he drops the cryo liquid or whatever.
Right.
Even the logic is,
Yeah, sure.
but then he jumps in the air and it freezes Wesley Snipes and he kicks his head off.
Right.
And it smashes on the ground.
Yeah, she was sweet.
And that has stuck with me since I was fucking,
Yeah.
I guess 6 years old,
That was right.
7 years old when I saw this.
Yeah, and you know it's sad to see Snipes' character get his head knocked off. no, I'm just fucking around. No, you know he had it coming. He's a real piece of shit. He takes advantage of everybody. He's kind of a psychopath. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't even know if he knows what he's trying to do. He's just trying to be wacky, you know?
Yeah, well, it's a
cartoon.
Very non-dynamic character. Yeah,
he's just agent of chaos. Yeah, like the Joker. He's like the Joker, but not grounded.
Even just that haircut is infuriating. Like, why would you want to fucking stick out so much if you were doing crimes?
Yeah, right. You cannot slip into a crowd. Snipes apparently hated that haircut.
He had to have that haircut for at least 3 or 4 weeks.
Right, for the show.
For the production.
Right.
So that's probably why he was such in a fucking shitty mood.
Because he had to have this.
Walk around looking like fucking Krusty the Clown.
But Dennis Rodman did like this look and adapted this after the movie came out.
That's true. Yeah, he looks very Dennis Rodman-like now that you say that. One of the fat guys from Beetlejuice is in this, but it's not the one who had sex with the kids. It's the other one.
Right.
It's the one who you'd think would be the one who had sex with the kids. But in reality, it's the other fat guy in Beetlejuice who had sex with the kids.
Was that other guy really all that fat?
He's not that fat, Jeffrey Jones. He's a little chubby.
He's got a gut. He's got a beer belly.
To be fair, Jeffrey Jones also very much looks like a pedophile.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
No. Did you see Beetlejuice?
They kill him, right? So they don't have to bring him back?
They do a claymation sequence where he dies.
How does he die?
He's trying to have sex with a child.
Oh.
He kind of gets what's coming to him.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Jones. It's a shame because
he was that creepy guy in 80s movies. Yeah.
Oh well. Hey, but the other fat guy who did come into both movies,
I believe it's Glenn Shaddix.
Glenn Shaddix. What the hell else has he done after this?
I haven't seen him. I almost assumed he's dead. I haven't seen him in anything in so long.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 movies I saw him in.
That's what happens, Russ. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become a pedophile.
Okay, I love you. 愛上了你，請你莫逃避，維護你，原諒你，拋開貪生怕死，一切為咗你。